Ooh, yeah. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're at Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Grab a seat, prop your feet. Let's sip some tea, sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. Sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Come on in now. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah, yeah. Come on in and hit that like, don't forget now. Auntie Mickey's house. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Grown talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house, make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh, yeah. From the jokes to the prayer, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. Auntie Mickey's house, that's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. On in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat. Come on in and hit the light, hit the light, hit the light. You're at Auntie Mickey's, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's, Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in her house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat, come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Grab a seat, drop your feet, let's sip some tea. Sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah. Come on in and hit that light, don't forget. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Don't talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house, make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. To the prayer, she keeps it real. Keeps it real, keeps it real. That's the deal, that's the deal, baby. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house, oh yeah. see, come on in and hit that light. Hit the light, oh, your Auntie Mickey's. Yeah. Auntie Mickey's house, Auntie Mickey's house, Auntie Mickey's house, oh.
Happy Monday, y'all. Yeah. Oh my goodness, how y'all doing today? How is everybody doing today? I am hoping and praying that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope that you are having a wonderful Monday. Let me turn my camera on. Shoot. How y'all doing? Oh, welcome everybody. Happy Monday. And yes, happy Black History Month. That's right, Camille. Let them know. Yeah, they gave us the shortest month in the year, but okay, I'll take it. How you doing, Anthony? How's it going? I see Adventurous You is in the house. There go Barbara. I seen Camille. There's Rachel. Dawn, hello, Dawn. Millionaire's Cove, hello, sweetheart. Let me make sure I got everybody. Yep, I think I did. I know my husband's in here. He's got to be in here somewhere. Oh, Rachel. Rachel says, I am glad that Auntie is not talking about the shenanigans going on with Ray J. They work party got his live taken. What? I didn't know that. He need to leave them people alone. I'm sorry. Leave that man alone. I don't know what I know the last thing I heard about is Ray J had health problems. That's all I heard. I don't follow that other stuff. It was too much. When people are grieving and stuff like that and going through hell, the last thing somebody needs is for somebody to come out and make content out of it in a negative way to benefit themselves. That's just my own opinion. But hey, Mr. Phillips, how's it going? Hello, Kendra. I see you. There we go. There go my boo thing. My boo thing is here. Hey, sweetie. And Barbara was the first one in. Hey, go on, girl. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's been quite an eventful day in the news. Especially since they released those Epstein files. I got all kind of information on that, and I haven't had the mindset to even go over half of that stuff. It's just so much. It's too much. Man. Hello, Devon. How are you? Okay, what happened with Mr. Anthony? What happened, Anthony? I'm seeing condolences in the house. What's going on? Oh, your mom passed last week. Oh, my goodness. I am so sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences to you. Golly. Oh, wait. No, wait a minute. Devon done come in here blazing. Hey, Auntie, did you see the boxer get his man unit knocked off Saturday? No. No, his man unit. They tell me his dick got hit off. What, did he lose his dick? What happened? I was going to watch the fight, but I didn't watch it. Hello, Just Risa. How are you, love? Good to see you. Oh, no, Barbara. I had another niece pass on Wednesday. Lord have mercy. It's hitting you hard, Barbara. Man. Well, my condolences to you as well. Good grief. Hello, Carmela. How are you, sweetie? Before I get started, because I know my title says ICE Officers Identified, with the Alex Pretti unaliving. All good in your corner of Texas. All right, that's good. That's good. And then the other part of the show is supposed to be about Sha'Carri Richardson arrested again. But before I get started, I came across something. I don't know if y'all watched the Grammys last night. I didn't. And usually I like to watch the Grammys because I love my music. I love my music. Even if I don't understand half of it anymore with all this rap and stuff. But I do tend to like to watch the Grammy Awards and Oscars and stuff like that. And I caught a piece of a show here on YouTube, the Brian Tyler Cohen show. I just got the first part of it and I wanted to just share it with you. Trump got his panties in a bunch because the host, Trevor, what's his last name? Trevor, Trevor, the comedian, said a joke, which is common in every award show you see. Every award show, be it the Grammys, the Emmys, the Oscars, Soul Train Awards, you name it. They always have someone up there telling jokes. And, the jokes usually pertain to what's going on in the news. I got to show you. Let me just share my screen with you. Hold on just a second. I'm just going to share it. Y'all can see it for yourself. But Trump done got his panties in a bunch. This is crazy. Like he ain't got nothing better to do. Hold on just a second here. Check this out.
So again, you played the joke, and I hate to go all lawyerly here, Brian, but that's kind of my job.
Let me go to the beginning. My bad.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown. Glenn, we have new news coming out of the Grammys where Donald Trump has threatened to sue Trevor Noah, who is the host of the Grammys. So just to give a lay of the land here, here's the clip of the joke that Trevor Noah told.
Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow. That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. So, I told you it's my last year.
Now, was it that bad? Was it that bad? Or did he strike a nerve? I'm just curious. Put a 1 in the chat if you felt that joke was that bad, because I've heard worse. Hey, T is Mimi. How you doing, sweetie? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, love. Okay, Mr. Phillips put a 1 in the chat. Well, let me go ahead and play some more. Exactly. He talking about suing him. Trevor Noah, that's his last name, Noah. Let me go ahead and play some more of it. It wasn't that bad. Oh, thank you, T. I'm glad you made it back.
What are you going to do about it?
All right, so that was followed by a post by Donald Trump, some late night screed that I think everybody expected. I'm going to put that on the screen. He said, the Grammys Awards are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS is lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer.
I find it look, this top sentence right here. Hello, Yolanda. This top sentence right here told me just how stupid he is. The Grammy Awards are the worst, virtually unwatchable. You watched it. Did he not watch it? For him to be so butthurt over this joke, he says it's virtually unwatchable, but he showed up was watching it. I'm just saying. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Let me go back.
Are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS is lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer. The host, Trevor Noah, whoever he may be, is almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel. At the low ratings Academy Awards, Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on Epstein Island. Wrong. I can't speak for Bill, but I've never been to Epstein Island nor anywhere close, and until tonight's false and defamatory statement, have never been accused being there, not even by the fake news media. Noah, a total loser, better get his facts straight and get them straight fast. It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC and suing him for plenty of money. Ask little George Slopadopoulos and others how that worked out. Also ask CBS, get ready, Noah, I'm going to have some fun with you, President DJT. So clearly we have the threat of a defamation lawsuit by somebody who is completely litigious and perfectly happy to sue anybody and everybody. So I want to ask first and foremost about the merit of this potential lawsuit that Trump.
Now, did I hear him say anything about him going to Epstein Island? Exactly, baby. It's funny how Trump can call people names, shithole country, but he can dish it out, but he can't take it. Exactly. Nobody called this fool names. Nobody called him a name. He made a joke. He didn't say he was at Epstein Island at all. He just said Epstein Island ain't there no more. But, this ain't gonna happen. This isn't gonna hold water. Honestly,
Trump is going to wage against Trevor Noah.
Brian, I know Donald Trump wants to be king of America, but, he's nothing more than king of the petty grievances. Not only was he the butt of Trevor Noah jokes, but he was the butt of the joke throughout the evening, I think, with good reason. But, okay, let's break it down. What constitutes defamation? There are 5 elements. Elements are just things you have to prove if you want to be successful in a defamation suit.
Now, is he gonna go after every comedian, every person that said anything about him during the Grammys? That's my question. Ain't you got other stuff to do? How about you take some of that energy and call your racist dogs off of those people in Minnesota and around the country and have them do what they're supposed to do. Get the worst of the worst off the street. That doesn't mean go down and look for everybody that don't look like white people. Find out where the Norwegian people that are here illegally are. I mean, find out where the illegal Italian people are. People from Hungary, people from all these places that look like white people. You don't see none of that. They ain't mowing none of them people down. Not looking for them. No, they're looking for people of color. And if you have anything to say about it, you're going to be a target too. So this guy has enough on his plate. In addition to that corny ass movie that they put out for his wife. Ooh, maybe that's why he want to sue, because he need to reap some of them funds back. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeff Bezos financed that stuff. I digress.
Suit that you bring in court. We should remember that the Supreme Court has recognized that comedy is a protected form of speech. It's artistic expression. So let's start with that basic proposition. But if you want to successfully sue somebody for defamation, you need to prove 1, a false statement was made. 2, it was made about you. You were named. 3, it was published. Now that could certainly include being spoken at the Grammys and hitting the public airwaves. 4, that the speaker had to have malicious intent, actual malice, which frankly, as an old career prosecutor and homicide guy, That's what we need when we're trying to prove somebody committed murder, actual malice, bad intent to kill somebody, to inflict serious injury to somebody. You need actual malice. And then 5, you need to prove damages. What does that mean? Donald Trump would need to prove that there was harm to his reputation or that he suffered financial loss as a result of Trevor Noah's joke.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there because we got the show to do. But my question is, because now I'm being facetious. Did you receive any damages financially because of that joke? Was your reputation smeared because of that joke? Your reputation been down the damn toilet, boo-boo. One little joke told by Trevor Noah is not going to flush it for you. It's already been flushed. Point blank, period. This guy is just everywhere, sitting up all night tweeting. Get some sleep, dude. Seems to me he's got a problem. And it's not just mental. I think the dude is suffering some medical problems that he ain't being forthright about, that the government's not even being forthright about. I think he's just causing all the hell he can while he can. That's just my own opinion. I'll say allegedly. That's just my own opinion. Dude is unhinged. And he said he was going to go after everybody for revenge, and he didn't lie about that. That part, Mr. Phillips. Wake up, feed the people. Up here telling folks that the economy has never been so strong. Oh my God. People can't even hardly afford bacon and eggs. What world are you in? Oh, I'm sorry. You're in the world where you don't buy nothing. You have no idea how much milk costs, diapers cost. You have no idea because you ain't going out there buying it. You got people to do it for you. Snap your fingers. Exactly, Barbara. Evil to the core. Every time he speaks, meat goes up. Exactly. But it amazes me that although his ratings have gone way down. Toker says milk is the same it was 10 years ago. Not in my neck of the woods. I don't know where you live, but it ain't like it was 10 years ago here. So, hey, if it's the same price there, let me know where you live. Maybe I can move there because prices is high as hell here. You know what I'm saying? Wow. He has to start something. His wife's movie ain't starting no talk. The show ain't other than boo. It was boo. North Dakota. Okay, Toker. North Dakota. Only thing I see is our gas is cheap. Not here. Not here. Shoot. Babe, if you still in the chat, tell me how much gas is. I don't put gas in my car. My husband does. So when my husband goes and fills up the tank, how much is it now per gallon for unleaded, just regular unleaded gas here in Washington State, boo? I know it's over $4 a gallon. Exactly, Rachel. He doesn't have to worry about those things. Gas is $2.30 there, Toker. We living in the wrong part of the country, honey. It's over $4 a gallon here. No, for real, for real. Yours is 219. Jesus, we need to move, baby. It costs too much to live up here. Okay, Barbara says almost $5 there. $5 there. Man, it's all over the place. Man. I'm in communist Washington. Okay, if you say so. I didn't know we were communists up here. Is that because it's a blue state you say that? Because just because it's a blue state doesn't mean it's communist. Hey, I'm just saying. Okay, in Ponca City, Oklahoma, it's 232. Okay. Yeah, it seems like red states do get a break, don't they? I guess. Okay. Well, anyway, excuse me. Getting on with the show, I just wanted to point that out because, man, I was like, why are you so butthurt over a joke? Okay, if you say, okay, Toker. Okay. Anyhow, we're going to move on to, I'm going to cover Sha'Carri Richardson first because that's not going to take much time. Trust me. Sha'Carri Richardson has been arrested again. Oh, yeah, adventurous. Yeah, it's going to get hot. Sha'Carri Richardson has been arrested again. And for those of you who don't know who Sha'Carri Richardson is, she was the Olympian that was, she didn't learn her lesson last year on July 27th. That's my baby's birthday. July 27th of last year, she was arrested at SeaTac Airport, right up here, and charged with 4th-degree domestic assault for pushing her boyfriend, Christian Coleman, while they was going through the TSA line, who he also happens to be a U.S. he's a sprinter on the U.S. Olympic team. So of course you guys remember that her arrest was captured on video at the airport, and it went viral. It went viral. It was embarrassing to watch too. Oh God. She tried her damnedest. She tried her damnedest to get out of it, to wiggle, deflect, explain her way out of it, but they weren't hearing it. So here we are, 6 months later, and she's once again in the news, and once again trying to beg, plead, explain, beg, plead her way out. Hold on just a second. This is my grandson. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. This boy clearly don't pay attention to the time. So anyway, here we are 6 months later. She's trying to beg and plead her way out of this situation, and it didn't work. And this officer was clocking her for doing 100 and something over. I mean, she was flying down the freeway. Excuse me. And then also her boyfriend, who was in another car behind her, got out and tried to, intervene and explain. And he ended up going to jail. And then another third car with a girl that's in the Olympics or on the team, she got out of her car. Y'all, Oh my goodness. But here, let me share with you this article. I'll just read the article to you because me talking about it, it doesn't always tell the whole story. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Where'd it go? Okay. This is from The Root. Hold on just a second. These ads get on my last nerve. Okay. All right, there we go. So here we have it. How Sha'Carri Richardson's speeding arrest led to her boyfriend also going to jail. Olympic gold medalist Sha'Carri Richardson's latest arrest came thanks to a new zero-tolerance Florida law. Okay. Controversial Olympic gold medalist Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested January 29th in Florida after being pulled over for driving over 100 miles an hour on a highway near Orlando. It's track star's second arrest in less than 6 months, but this one could result in big trouble for her. According to News 6, Richardson was allegedly speeding past cars and was observed by a police officer driving an Aston Martin. Oh, nice. Nice car. I guess they fast, too. She was pulled over, and after pleading with the officer to let her go, he arrested her, citing Florida's new super speeder law, which penalizes drivers for exceeding 50 miles per hour over the speed limit, or for being caught driving over 100 miles per hour. Richardson was placed in custody and charged with dangerous excessive speeding at 104 miles per hour in a 65 zone, failure to dim headlights, following too closely, cutting in, and failure to move over. Richardson also told the officer she had low back tires that prompted her to speed. I didn't know that was a reason to speed. Wouldn't that make him go down faster? I don't know. She kept pleading with him not to arrest her, but her excuses only got her into more trouble. You're driving 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding, the officer tells her. Police officials released body cam footage of the interaction, and it's not a good look for Richardson, as it's the second time she's caught on camera in a situation leading to her arrest. She was arrested last summer on a fourth-degree domestic violence offense for striking her boyfriend, fellow Olympian Christian Coleman, at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in July. That incident was also captured on video. Okay, so here is the video from the body cam footage of the officer.
At 100, hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your way, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand. I'm communicating to sir. I really do not want to go to jail.
No,
totally
most people don't, but
I do.
you got to think about that before you do the speed.
Sir,
I need your
I'm not
license,
speeding.
your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
So I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around. My phone was sitting here and it's slid on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I communicate.
The mode
with you.
has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No,
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, can you? I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance on my phone. There was no intention of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley
Yes,
Drive?
sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise.
She talked too much. This is her problem. She talks too damn much. You so busy trying to get out of trouble, you digging a bigger ditch. Shut up.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show the
No,
court.
like I told you, you're going to
Sir,
jail.
Please don't allow me to go in. Please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir. I really.
It's nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail? Like,
Yes.
Sir, I really.
If an officer told me nothing you say to me is going to change this, at that point, shut up. Because now you're making it worse. The judge can look at this body cam footage and get disgusted and just say, you know what? Go away. Go away. This is ridiculous. She does this whenever she gets into trouble. Her mouth gets the best of her.
It was not intentionally speeding at
That's
all.
even more scary.
Sir,
That means that you're doing
please.
things unintentionally
No,
on a
sir,
task that
please,
requires
please,
all
sir,
your attention.
Sir, please, please, I'm begging you.
You are going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls. You are going to jail. I am towing your car.
Please, sir, don't take me to jail. I will do
Yes.
everything.
No.
I will do everything.
You have two options.
Listen,
Listen.
sir, please.
Listen,
I can-
you have two options.
I tire my phone.
The first option is you can either ride with me in my car.
Sir,
Damn, that's loud.
sir,
The
I
second
am
option
begging you.
is you are going to go to jail in a cage car.
No,
Which do you
sir,
prefer?
look, I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here.
Oh my God. She don't get it. I think that she believes that if she talks long enough, they'll get tired of hearing her and just let her go. But all that's going to do is piss that officer off even more. Exactly, EJ. She was traveling very fast, and in a split second, lives could have been changed. Zero sympathy. I know that's right. I don't know what she was thinking. Millionaire's Cove says she needs to be taught a lesson. Absolutely. First lesson is shut up. I mean, for real.
I have a team here. I have a coach, everything, sir. I was not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening.
I am
Nothing
listening.
you
I
say
wanna
is
know
going
what
to
you
change.
said. So I want
All right, so make some phone calls. Let
Sir,
people
he's
know
not
that you're
there.
going to have a $500 bond.
See, you know what? He was nice. He was nice because he'd have told, shoot. Somebody else would have told her, look, get out the car right now. Get in the car, shut up. At least he's giving her an opportunity to make some phone calls. He was nice about it. So it further says, adding to her trouble was the arrest of Coleman, who appeared at the scene after she was pulled over. Several minutes after he arrived, while trying to defend Richardson, he was arrested and charged with stopping on a limited access roadway, refusing to comply with officers' instructions, and resisting without violence. Now, here's where he need to learn a lesson too. First of all, you done hooked up with the wrong female, boo-boo. She done got you twice involved with her shenanigans. Police officers also found a glass smoking device with some residue consistent with cannabis use when they searched Coleman's Jeep. Oh, Lord. See, he ain't too smart. Clearly, he ain't too smart. Either that or he just don't know the laws of Florida. Because everybody, don't have the same laws. You might want to check the laws before you just let that kind of stuff sit out in the open. Good grief. They kept the device as evidence and then tacked on a charge of possession of rug paraphernalia, according to an affidavit. Lord have mercy. Mr. Phillips said they got cars. Oh, Millionaire's Cove says, Mr. Phillips, they got cars by cops that are fast also to catch that Hellcat. That's true. Adventurous Youth says, well, she got promoted when she put her hands on her boyfriend. Wonder what good is going to happen now. Nothing. It ain't gonna help her. I know that's right. Wow. So I guess that's the end of that. Yeah, that's the end of that. So for those that don't know what Christian looked like, let me pull him up real quick. Handsome brother, I must say. But she's nothing but trouble for him. So this here is Christian and Sha'Carri together. American track runner Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested last Thursday. Blah blah blah. It says Thursday for driving in excess of 160 kilometers in Florida. Her boyfriend Christian Coleman, the world record holder in the men's indoor 60 meters, was charged with resisting an officer and possession of rug paraphernalia. 2 more Olympic sprinters were cited by officers in conjunction with Sha'Carri Richardson's arrest for driving in excess of 160 kilometers per hour on Thursday in Florida's Orange County, according to the report by The Athletic. Christian Coleman, the world record holder in the indoor 60 meters, arrived at Richardson's traffic stop in another car and tried to intervene on his girlfriend's behalf. When Coleman refused to accept the officer's orders to return to his car, he was eventually arrested. Boy, these folks don't learn. He didn't learn nothing from when she got arrested. Oh, Jesus. He was charged with resisting an officer and possession of rug paraphernalia when officers allegedly found a glass pipe with a small amount of green leafy plant material in the center console of Coleman's vehicle, per The Athletic. In the center console. So that means that they had to open it and search it. Coleman, 29, was also cited for stopping on a limited access highway and for having an expired registration over 6 months. Boy, you are not batting very much, buddy. Twanisha Terry, who joined Richardson on the United States gold medal 400-meter relay at the 2024 Olympic Games, later pulled up in a third car and tried to talk to Richardson. Terry, who's 27, also declined to retreat when officers told her to return to her car. What is wrong with these girls, these kids? They kids to me. I know they grown. But they learning the hard way. Shut up. You can't argue with no officer if the person was guilty of what they're doing. Lord have mercy. She eventually complied with an officer's request to show identification and was given a citation for stopping on a limited highway and released. The 25-year-old Richardson was charged with dangerous excessive speeding in her Aston Martin. Officers videotaped her changing lanes and tailgating other drivers while driving more than 145 kilometers on a state road in Florida. Richardson eventually was clocked at 160 kilometers per hour. Lord have mercy. Orange County courts set a $1,000 bond for Coleman and a $500 bond for Richardson. I wonder why. Oh, because of the rugs. Both were released on bail and are expected to appear in court on February 26th and February 25th, respectively. The arrest was Richardson's second in less than a year. In July, she was arrested after officers at SeaTac International Airport reviewed security video that showed her appearing to grab Coleman's backpack and shove him toward a wall while he was attempting to move through the terminal. She was held in custody for 19 hours, but Coleman refused to press charges, later telling The Athletic in a video interview, "She's a human being and a great person. She has a lot of things going on, a lot of emotions and forces going on inside of her that not only I can't understand, but nobody can. She's one of one, and I'm one of one too." Okay. That still doesn't mean that you can break the law. Hold on a second. I feel like it was just a sucky situation all around. I don't feel as if she should have been arrested. Oh, wait. In August, Richardson issued an apology to Coleman that read in part, "I apologize to Christian. He came into my life and gave me more than a relationship, but a greater understanding of unconditional love from what I've experienced in my past." Okay. "Due to my past trauma and pain, I was blind and blocked off to not only receive it but give it. I love him, and to him I can't apologize enough." Yeah. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Was there any more to this? Nope. Hello, Kumari. This is... wow. Okay. Well, I'm sure something will follow up to this. We'll just have to stay tuned. Shit. We have to stay tuned to the shit show. Crazy, crazy. So moving on to the second half of this show, because I ain't gonna keep y'all long, trust me. Wait a minute. Rachel said, "Those kids are stupid. Where is the home training? They have none at all." Well, and that's the thing. Nobody taught them that there's a certain way to conduct yourself when you're dealing with officers. I don't care how mad you might get or how defensive you might get. There's just some things you just don't do. EJ said, "For an elite athlete that has to be disciplined and dedicated, she has problems with extreme reckless behaviors." You're right. And that's not cool. Bless your heart, EJ. Thank you. EJ says this won't be her last involvement with the law. Well, that's just it. If she keeps doing this kind of stuff, it's just going to get worse and worse for her. It really will. They hold that kind of stuff against you. And that's for real. Excuse me. So moving on, because like I said, I'm not going to keep y'all long, because when I'm done with this, you know where I'm going. Yeah. ICE officers involved in the shooting of Alex Pretti. They've been identified. Their identity is now revealed. 43-year-old Jesus Ochoa and 35-year-old Raimundo Gutierrez. Okay. Ochoa is a Border Patrol agent who joined CBP in 2018, and Gutierrez joined in 2014 and works for CBP's Office of Field Operations. He's assigned to a special response team which conducts high-risk operations like those of police SWAT units. Records show that both men are from South Texas. Now, it's been reported that agents are expected to go into Ohio this week to target Haitian immigrants because of temporary protective status is due to expire this week. And that is where they may surge next. So yet another city may very well experience the same heightened level of aggression as we have seen in Minnesota. Now we learned that a federal judge is allowing this federal surge to continue, because earlier they were saying that they were going to de-escalate it. But a federal judge is saying, nope, we're going to let this surge continue, despite the fact that it has been acknowledged that officers did engage in racial profiling and excessive force in Minnesota. Public perception of this latest news is fearful that escalation will only get worse as a result of this green light from not only the judge but the president himself. As a matter of fact, he has threatened to cut off all federal funding to 14 U.S. states, all blue states at that, if they don't let him do if they don't let him continue to push what they did in Minnesota. That means all federal money. That's public safety dollars. That's transportation money. He's threatening to hold blue states hostage if they don't allow him to do what they have already done in Minnesota. And so this administration is basically going to great lengths to protect the conduct of these agents that use excessive force, which is not only unconstitutional, but against the law. They have demonstrated time and time again that they believe what they say when they tell someone that they don't need a warrant. And apparently that narrative is being pushed forward as well. What they fail to realize is that this administration will not be here forever. And that's something that they're not saying in the news. This administration ain't going to be here forever. But the atrocities committed will be here and punishable after that fool is gone. Trust and believe. They will be left holding the bag, basically. A lot of these ICE agents will be left holding the bag. They're not looking down the road. They're not looking down the road. And personally, I don't feel bad for these agents that are doing this stuff, getting all this self-gratification out of this behavior, because that's what it boils down to. I'm not saying all ICE agents are getting something out of this, but most of them are. They're getting their rocks off on this. I'm not saying all of them, and it's just my personal opinion. But they will inevitably face the consequences. So let me share this with you. Apparently, Pretti's unaliving has been ruled a homicide. Let me go ahead and play this for you. Alex Pretti's death ruled a homicide after Border Patrol shooting in Minneapolis. And this is being reported by Fox 2. Fox. Let me go to the beginning here.
So over the weekend, We know that the identities of 2 federal agents who were involved in the shooting of Alex Pretti were made public through an investigation by ProPublica. Now, if you're not familiar, the ProPublica's website describes them as an independent nonprofit newsroom that digs deep into important issues, shining a light on abuses of power and betrayals of public trust, and holds powers accountable. So that's who ProPublica is in this story. Joining me now is investigative reporter behind that story that identified the agents. It's David McSwain. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So can we start with, David, the editorial process in doing this story? Can you take us kind of into any kind of a should we conversation when it comes to identifying these agents?
Sure. I mean, we have a story of national importance, some dramatic, gruesome video in which the citizen bystander was shot in the street, and there was a question about who are the officers involved. And in this country, we have a history, norm, and practice of law enforcement agents being identified through name tags and badges. And the first step in accountability when agents or police, exercise force, and there may be some question around that force, is to identify those officers, figure out who they are, and that allows people to investigate, families to figure out what recourse they may have.
And so Department of Homeland Security has not released the names, haven't released much information. In your investigative reporting, is that typical? And, is that part of the reason as well that you started digging?
Shout out to ProPublica. I gotta say, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't know the names of these gentlemen. I won't even call them gentlemen. If it weren't for ProPublica to dig deep and investigate and find out the identity of the 2 customs agents or custom border patrol, whatever they are, monsters, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. So shout out to them.
Where did you go to get the information?
Yeah, there's been an incredible amount of secrecy around ICE and immigration officials generally under this administration, and particularly in this instance because it was, these viral videos were very widely spread online. So the agency, the Homeland Security did say they're not releasing the names and has made it very difficult to identify those officers. And that is a departure from norms historically.
Also, we know that the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension was, they say they were shut out of the investigation into Renee Good's death as well. Did you look into that at all? Have you been able to sort of cover other aspects of this, of what's been happening here in Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, that agency, as well as the governor and mayor of Minneapolis, have expressed concern that they weren't included in the investigation, and expressed concern to us about not being able to identify these officers. And in fact, in our reporting process, we went to those places and and asked them what they knew, and it sounds like there was just a deep level of frustration on the local level.
I'm curious what the reaction has been since the story's been published. What kind of feedback have you been getting from people?
Well, it sort of depends on which social media you want to use these days. I think a lot of folks are grateful now that there are these agents who are involved in a really high-profile, fatal incident have been identified, and those mechanisms of accountability can move forward. I do think that there are some people who agree with the administration that these agents who've been emboldened to use force in the streets, wear masks, and operate in complete anonymity should remain such. But as our editors described in the note that we published along with the story, it's in the public's interest to understand what law enforcement officers are doing and who they are when we see these sorts of incidents.
It's funny because I looked all over the place trying to find other reporting on these 2 officers, and I ran into a brick wall. So legacy media, of course, is not reporting nearly as much as what independent reporters are reporting. Hence is the reason why Don Lemon ended up being indicted. Hello, Black. How are you? So I just thought I was very curious as to why we're not seeing a whole lot of reporting on who these two agents are.
And I want to ask you a little bit about the agents themselves, because you talk a little bit about them in your piece. Before I do, though, of course, I imagine that you also have folks who, and I don't know if you've had any accusations of sort of doxing, and we know that Department of Homeland Security, we've heard from many agents across the country who say that they've, been the target of death threats, their families, things like that. How was that a part of the conversation here for you guys?
Well, it's something we have to consider. I mean, we publish work that's in the overwhelming public interest, and, Homeland Security and other agencies have used that line of accusing, reporters who reveal information that they don't want out as doxing. And it does create safety concerns for reporters, but we have a job to do, and we're going to exercise it under this administration as we have in previous administrations.
So you identified the agents as a 43-year-old Border Patrol agent, Jesus Ochoa, and then 35-year-old Customs and Border Protection Officer, Raimundo Gutierrez. We have their names, we have their ages. What else did you find out?
Well, this is a developing story, and I'm certainly not the only reporter on this now. And there are internet sleuths who are doing, publishing things that may or may not be true. And of course, we have our process that really vets these sorts of things. I mean, what we do know is Ochoa joined in 2018. It was an aspiration of his for quite some time, according to his ex-wife, who I spoke with directly. And Gutierrez, I believe, joined in 2014. So these are not the new recruits under, this latest push and funding to beef up ICE's ranks. They have had some training and have worked for the agency for some time.
Was there anything in either of their backgrounds or their work history that caught your attention or stood out to you?
No, I mean, these agents have been instructed by, Homeland Security to really scrub themselves from the internet. So it's hard to find a lot of that stuff open source.
Now, that's very interesting. They've been encouraged to scrub themselves from the internet. I find that very, very, very suspect. If you're operating under the law, why would you scrub your information? If anything, it's given me vibes of hiding things. Because, like I said, I looked all over the place trying to get more information on these two guys, and nothing. So they had help to scrub their stuff. But, hey, they got to keep on living, because they going to pay one way or another.
I do know that Ochoa, according to his ex-wife, did attain a college degree from a Texas university in criminal justice. But we'll keep researching and get as much information as we can as it pertains to the public interest.
Yeah. Did your investigation take you down any other roads that you can talk about? I know you may not want to divulge what you're working on next, but I'm just curious if sometimes you start going down one road and it takes you other places.
Constantly going down roads and figuring out what is, deciphering fact from fiction and what can be supported and confirmed. And, that's the editorial process. And we have a rigorous process that involves multiple layers of editing and lawyers and these discussions that you referenced before we go to publication.
Yeah. And just really briefly, could you also, for those who aren't familiar with ProPublica, just describe a little bit about, kind of the who you are and what that process can look like?
Sure. We are an independent nonprofit organization, really a giant investigations team with a ton of experience and accolades behind that. And, we've covered stories involving Border Patrol going back well over a decade.
Have you specifically covered, because I think a lot of us here in Minnesota aren't as familiar with Border Patrol, right? This is not something that we're used to. We don't know much about their training. We don't know. We're learning a lot here. As you and ProPublica have been covering this and covering the Border Patrol agents who are here, is there anything that you have found that you would want to share with us or give us insight into?
I have a question. Because they keep saying Border Patrol, Border Patrol, Border Patrol. If all of these agents are in Minnesota and all throughout the country, who's guarding the borders? I'm dead. How many officers are guarding the borders? They're not giving that information out. We get to see all the melee in Minnesota and other places, but they're not giving us numbers as to where different factions of this ICE department is located. I mean, where is everybody assigned to? I found that curious. Where Minnesota's not on the border, ain't nowhere near the border.
Well, it has been, I spent some time in Texas as a reporter, including, some of that, during some border surge operations. And, it did surprise some online that, a lot of Border Patrol agents have Hispanic and, Chicano heritage and surnames. That's not uncommon in the Rio Grande Valley. These are good jobs with good pay and great benefits. And, there are a lot of good agents who, take this work very seriously. So that's an interesting thing that I, had forgotten. If you hadn't spent any time on the board, that might seem a little bit of a surprise.
That's what I would think, Rachel. Isn't the Border Patrol supposed to be at the border, patrolling the border? There's several different legs to this department. Why is Border Patrol with enforcement inland? There's a reason it's called Border Patrol. You patrolling inland. It's just an observation. I don't get it.
As you know, a lot of law enforcement experts, including, some local law enforcement in your neck of the woods, had criticized tactics. I mean, it is a much different setting from urban policing. And there's been a lot of questions about the sort of rules of engagement, when to use force. I've covered some of the use of these quote unquote less lethal weapons like pepper spray and rubber bullets and so forth. And, this escalation has coincided with, Homeland Security's decision to sort of shorten training and move these agents into much different environments.
Hi, Lady Letitia. How are you, sweetheart? Let me drop the link in case you want to come up. Only if you want to. Okay.
And that's something I know that law enforcement experts are watching, and certainly we're here to document and chronicle.
So is it fair to say it looks, the intention is different here? It looks different here than it would say on the border, where you've seen kind of with your own eyes what's been happening down there? Because I think, again, living here, we don't have a whole lot of context unless you've lived, on a border and seen it with your own eyes. But
thank you, Lady Letitia, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, my love. I appreciate you. You guys check out Lady Letitia's channel. If you haven't checked it out already, please go on over there and check it out. Good content creator. And that's my girl.
As you've been kind of watching all of this, I'm just really curious now that you've kind of seen both worlds, how you can help people here understand how this is kind of different from what's going on in other parts of the country and some of these border areas.
Sure. I mean, dispersing, Border Patrol and immigration enforcement agents into an American city well away from a point of entry is new territory for us all. And, we've sort of seen that escalating from LA to Chicago and now your neck of the woods, where previously a lot of these officers, they worked ports of entry, checking, to make sure undocumented folks aren't coming in. There are specialized teams, that engage in some higher risk activity. But I don't think we have an analog for the sort of things we've seen in the past 6 months to a year.
Yeah. And then just finally, again, back to kind of the record piece of this, it's always really important. And as journalists, when you have information, there's always that if you don't have it confirmed by, authorities, there's always that pause that you take of saying, okay, you guys, if we're going to do this, we need to be sure. So I guess just asking you, how were you able to obtain this government documents? Maybe not the how, but how did you get to the place where you guys felt confident that, yes, we can release the identities?
Well, as you know, in the course of investigative reporting, you do have sources and you deal with sensitive information that you have to protect, and you have to weigh that against, publication. I have reviewed government documents that show, these are the agents whom the government has identified as having fired their weapons in this altercation, which we've all been, tuned into for well over a week now. And that's what we can say for now. The Homeland Security, CBP have taken the tack of, shielding these agents, and as you used the word doxing earlier, being critical of really any media coverage of these operations, and that's their right. I certainly would appreciate a confirmation, and I suspect that we're going to see more and more of that.
All right, David, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your time in sharing what you guys found in your investigation.
Thank you.
All right.
So there we have it. The two CBP agents have been identified. And let me pull up this other. Let me pull up this article here. I'm trying to get as much information as possible out about these two. And it's kind of like pulling teeth. It says 2 CBP agents identified in Alex Pretti shooting. Look at all those people. Good Lord. Okay, it says here under the picture, federal agents deployed tear gas and other less lethal munitions into a crowd of people near the intersection of 27th Street and Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis after a federal officer shot and killed a 37-year-old Alex Pretti on January 24th. The 2 federal immigration agents who fired on Minneapolis protester Alex Pretti are identified in government records as Border Patrol agent Jesus Ochoa and Customs and Border Protection Officer Raimundo Gutierrez. The records viewed by ProPublica list Ochoa 43 and Gutierrez 35 as the shooters during the deadly encounter last weekend that left Pretti dead and ignited massive protests and calls for criminal investigations. Both men were assigned to Operation Metro Surge, an immigration enforcement dragnet launched in December that sent scores of armed and masked agents across the city. CBP, which employs both men, has so far refused to release their names and has disclosed few other facts about the deadly incident, which came days after a different immigration agent shot and killed another Minneapolis protester, a 37-year-old mother of 3 named Renee Good. Pretti's killing and the subsequent secrecy surrounding the agents involved comes as the country confronts the consequences of President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown. The sweeps in cities across the country have been marked by scenes of violence against immigrants and U.S. citizens by agents allowed to hide their identities with masks, an almost unheard of practice in law enforcement. As a result, the public has been kept from one of the chief ways it has to hold officers involved in such altercations accountable: their identity. Absolutely millionaire's code. So Trump is still going to protect these 2 officers even after they are revealed, and yes, he's doubling down. That's what this double down dummy does. Both Democratic and Republican lawmakers have called for a transparent investigation into the killing of Pretti, a 37-year-old intensive care unit nurse working at a Department of Veterans Affairs hospital. We must have a transparent, independent investigation into the Minnesota shooting, and those responsible, no matter their title, must be held accountable, Republican Senator John Curtis of Utah wrote on X on Monday. The agency sent a notice to some members of Congress on Tuesday acknowledging that 2 agents fired Glock pistols during the altercation that left Pretti dead. That notice does not include the agents' names. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees CBP, said the agents had been placed on leave after the January 24th shooting. And after a week of protests and calls from lawmakers for a review, the Justice Department said Friday that its Civil Rights Division is investigating the shooting. A DOJ spokesperson did not answer questions, including whether DHS has shared materials such as body camera footage with its investigators. Ochoa is a Border Patrol agent who joined CBP in 2018. Gutierrez joined in 2014 and works for CBP's Office of Field Operations. He is assigned to a special response team which conducts high-risk operations like those of police SWAT units. Records show both men are from South Texas. In the aftermath of the shooting, Gregory Bovino, who has orchestrated high-intensity immigration sweeps and arrests in a string of Democratic-led cities since early 2025, was removed from his role as Border Patrol commander at large and reassigned to his former post in El Centro, California. A spokesperson for DHS declined to answer questions about the 2 agents and referred ProPublica to the FBI. The FBI declined to comment. ProPublica made several attempts to call Ochoa and Gutierrez, but neither answered. Ochoa, who goes by Jesse, graduated from the University of Texas Pan American with a degree in criminal justice, according to his ex-wife, Angelica Ochoa. A longtime resident of the Rio Grande Valley, Ochoa had for years dreamed of working for the Border Patrol and finally landed a job there, she said. By the time the couple split in 2021, he had become a gun enthusiast with about 25 rifles, pistols, and shotguns, Angelica Ochoa said. DHS disclosure to Congress was drawn from an internal review of the agent's body camera footage, which has not been released to the public. Imagine that. State investigators, meanwhile, have accused their federal counterparts of blocking them from investigating the shooting. We don't have any information on the shooters, a Minneapolis city spokesperson said. A spokesperson for Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said Tuesday that his office also had not been given the names, and we don't have any new information on the investigation. Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee in a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi Monday accused the Justice Department of covering up evidence in both Pretti's and Goods killings. DOJ has also blocked prosecutors and agents from cooperating with state law enforcement officials and prevented state officials from accessing evidence, the letter said. Maryland Representative Jamie Raskin, the top Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee, told CNN on Sunday that immigration agents should not be masked. They should not be anonymous. They should be identifiable. And they have to have rules of engagement that don't allow them to terrorize and intimidate, harass, and assault U.S. citizens and other people, he said. The notice to Congress said that the shooting happened when Pretti resisted arrest arrest after officers were unable to get him and a female protester out of the street. The CBP officer attempted to move the woman and Pretti out of the roadway. The woman and Pretti did not move. The report reads, CBP personnel attempted to take Pretti into custody. Pretti resisted CBP personnel's efforts and a struggle ensued. According to the report, one agent then yelled, "He's got a gun," multiple times, and two others discharged their Glock pistols. In videos widely shared online, Pretti can be seen holding up a phone, documenting the movements of federal agents and officers as they roamed the streets of a popular food and arts district, according to news reports. Pretti was concerned about the increasingly volatile siege of the city by federal agents. In the videos, a masked agent appears to knock a woman to the ground. Pretti comes to her aid, getting between them, at which point the officer deploys pepper spray at his face. Two agents then grab Pretti and pull him to the ground, while more federal personnel pile on. During the struggle, the agents unleash a series of shots, approximately 10, as onlookers scream. Pretti was armed at the time of the encounter with a legally owned handgun, according to state and federal officials. Some analyses of bystander video appear to show a federal agent taking Pretti's gun from his hip before the first shots were fired. The agent's masks and the chaos of the altercation made it difficult to differentiate one from another. Those videos appear to contradict the claims by Bovino and other officials, including DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, that Pretti had come to attack agents. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. It's bullshit, Bovino said in a January 25th news conference. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Y'all know this is bullshit, right? In the initial aftermath, Stephen Miller, a top Trump aide and a leading force behind the immigration enforcement operations, called Pretti a would-be assassin. But Miller changed tact later in the week when he said in a statement that CBP officers may not have been following protocol related to confronting bystanders. Wow. Let that sink in. Additional video has surfaced showing Pretti in another altercation with federal agents 11 days before he was killed. The video shows Pretti yelling at the agents, who get in an SUV and start to drive away. Pretti then kicks out the tail light of the vehicle, and the agents, who wore protective masks, jump out and tackle him to the ground. It is unclear if any of the same agents were involved in both incidents. Lauren Bonds, executive director of the National Police Accountability Project, said that many local and state police departments are much more transparent than CBP when officers shoot people. More and more police departments are choosing to release body cam footage or dash cam footage within a couple of days. Jill Kerlikowske, a former CBP commissioner, told ProPublica that it's difficult to draw conclusions from the chaos in bystander videos. Still, he said, the shooting might have been prevented. Pretti's attempt to help the woman knocked to the ground couldn't have been seen as interfering with federal law enforcement, he said. But the decision by the officers to immediately use pepper spray created a chaotic scene that likely contributed to Pretti's death. The other agent could have said, "Don't interfere" or "Stand back," Kerlikowske said. Rather than move immediately to pepper spray, you can arrest the person. It's part of a pattern, he said. of federal officers jumping straight to use of force in situations that could have been de-escalated, but instead create danger for both agents and their targets. Pretti's death and the federal government's characterization of the event sparked immediate protests, spurring thousands of people to go out into frigid conditions in Minneapolis and other American cities. The shooting has also drawn intense criticism from political leaders, including Walz, who has promised his state's law enforcement will conduct its own criminal investigation. So there we have it. Now, I'm going to end this live with one last thing. I'm going to show a video. This is from CNN. Watch the movements of 2 officers involved in Pretti unaliving. Hold on just a second. Let me share this video for you. Okay, let me start this over.
On Alex Pretti, an ICU nurse who worked at the local VA hospital. Previously, they said the Department of Homeland Security reviewed body cam footage and released an initial report to Congress. 2 officers fired on Alex Pretti, an ICU nurse who worked at the local VA hospital. Previously, they said it was 1 person who fired. Both have been put on leave. Their new report does not say Pretti brandished a firearm or attacked officers, as DHS Secretary Noem previously claimed, but that he, quote, resisted being taken into custody, at which point a struggle ensued. This CNN analysis focuses on the 2 officers that raised their guns, seen here, one wearing a green shirt and black hat, and the other in a tan beanie, and sheds light on how their actions escalated the situation before it became deadly. At 8:56 a.m., we see this officer in the green shirt for the first time in this video. Later, you'll see he's wearing a bulletproof vest labeled US Border Patrol, along with a patch of the state flag of Texas. Here he is on Nicollet Avenue. You can see him shaking his spray as the sound of whistles blare in the background. We see Alex Pretti for the first time here, in a video filmed from a car driving by. Pretti and 3 other people are across the street. They're standing next to a federal officer. Seconds later, an officer pushes Pretti to the sidewalk.
Now, as I had tried to say earlier, but apparently my mic was muted, I don't know who is who as far as the 2 officers that were highlighted earlier in the video. So, but those apparently are the 2 officers that have been named. Gutierrez and Ochoa, but which one is which, we don't know.
Pretti is filming while stepping backwards. A moment later, this person falls to the ground as an officer begins to restrain him. The officer in the green shirt rushes over to assist him. Together, they drag this person off the street as protesters yell at the agents. That first officer in the green shirt would next be seen sitting inside his car, here. We now want to turn your attention to this second officer, wearing a tan beanie. According to a report from Customs and Border Protection's investigative body, officers ordered these female civilians, and later Pretti, to move out of the roadway, and they did not. At that time, Pretti can be seen directing traffic past the officers and protesters. The officer in the tan beanie shoves the 2 women in the middle of the street, prompting Pretti to yell out.
Do not push them into the traffic!
Watching the shoving across the street, the officer in the green shirt is now standing outside of his car. Meanwhile, the officer in the tan beanie turns his attention to Pretti. pushing him out of the way before shoving one of the women to the ground. Pretti steps between them, and the officer pepper sprays him in the face.
Now, this is where, this part is just way out of line. I understand you don't want him in the middle of the street, but, the way that he pushed that woman down, he wasn't trying to take her in any kind of force in terms of breaking the law. He just did that to be an asshole. Let's be real about it. If she was breaking the law, wouldn't you think that he would detain her somehow? But again, we saw the video from 11 days ago, prior to this, I should say, and it's believed that they had a vendetta against this guy to begin with because he kicked out their taillight. That's still no justification to take his life.
As Pretti tries to help the woman to her feet, multiple officers grab him and pull him to the ground. At this point, the officer wearing the green shirt and black hat approaches. You can see him reach for his spray here and then attempt to use it on the people pushed against the car. It appears to malfunction. As we slow this footage down, you can see that he then turns toward Pretti, who is being held down by other agents. According to CBP, they were attempting to take Pretti into custody and that he resisted. Based on these videos, Pretti can be seen on the ground with more than 5 officers around him. At this exact moment, on the other side of the scrum, the officer in the tan beanie starts beating Pretti in the head with a metal spray canister.
That's out of line too. First of all, it doesn't take 5 people to take one man down. It doesn't. But this is how they go about their business. They're a bunch of bullies.
Another officer in a gray coat removes Pretti's handgun from his waistband, directly in front of the officer in the green shirt here, though it's unclear if he sees it. He pushes the officer in the gray coat to the side, drawing his gun and pointing it at Pretti, who is down on his knees, bent forward. 1 second later, we hear the first gunshot. The officer in the green shirt's gun now becomes visible again. We see him fire the second, third, and fourth shots. We can see the officer in the tan beanie raise his gun.
He's already down on the ground. 1, 2, 3, down. Immobile. There's no justification, especially for the second dude, who is highlighted right here.
And a fifth shot is heard, while the other officer's gun is pointed to the ground. There's a 1 second pause where Pretti is lying on the ground, face up. He appears to be completely incapacitated. Then the officer in the green shirt points his gun again. Shots 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all fired while Pretti is lying face up on the street. This officer fired at least 4 of those 5 shots. You can see the recoil and bullet casings eject. The other officers have all backed away by this point. Both of the officers who fired their weapons pace around with their guns still drawn. The officer in the green shirt appears to walk back toward Pretti with his gun drawn. The person behind the camera yells out,
What the fuck did you just do? Yes, Liz, somebody call the ambulance.
Other officers approach, including the officer in the tan beanie and emergency responders, who appear to begin rendering medical aid to Pretti. In the background,
that ain't
the
medical aid. They're
green
going
shirt
through his
can
pockets.
be seen near his vehicle.
Wow. Welcome to America, huh? Well, Eric Smith,
Funny thing
I
happened.
only hope that don't happen to you one day. I only hope that doesn't happen to one of your loved ones one day. But that's okay. Y'all just go ahead and celebrate it, because it won't be forever. You won't be celebrating forever. Trust and believe. Your Lord and Savior ain't gonna be in office for very long. But this will. Well, yeah. Whatever you say, Eric. He complied. They threw him down with all intents to do what they did. So, anyway, I want to thank everybody for dropping by today, and even those that may not agree, you are entitled to your opinion. Eric, that means you too. Contact Desert, that means you too. All of you are entitled to your opinion. Okay, Eric says, I love how you assume that people who want ICE to keep doing this, that they voted for Trump. I never said that you voted for Trump. I never said you voted for Trump. Now you're assuming, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree. Point blank, period. Yeah, your Lord and Savior. That's your president. I didn't say you voted for him, but he's your president. So, anyway, with all that said, you guys, have a wonderful evening. For those of you who want to follow me over to the second channel, you know where I'll be in about an hour. So y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and let's pray for some peace up in this camp, because it's going to hell in a handbasket at this point. But y'all stay cool, stay safe. Love y'all. I'm out.
Hey there, my kinfolk. Thanks for stopping by. Auntie Mickey's house, where we reach for the sky. Every comment and smile, you make my heart glow. Together we're strong, together we grow. From gossip to politics, we cover it all. Sharing laughs and thoughts, having a ball. Your support means everything that I know. Feels like family here in this sweet show. So let's keep it flowing, keep the love alive. Every moment together makes me thrive. You're more than viewers, you're my kinfolk. You see, my gratitude runs deep as the sea. Thank you for being here, for sharing your time with each comment, with each rhyme. You're my kinfolk, my family, my crew. So much love to all of you. Turn up the camera, let's make it bright. Your support lifts me up, takes flight.